Hello and welcome to News at 10 on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. Let us begin with the headlines. India and Tunisia agreed to cooperate in fight against terrorism during talks between Vice President Hamid Ansari and Tunisian Prime Minister. Two sides also signed two MOUs in field of IT and promoting handicrafts. Two people, including city SP, killed during anti-encroachment drive in Mathura. Police team fired at with automatic weapons and hand grenades by group occupying land for 2 years. Centre orders complete sealing of Indo-Bangladesh border in Assam by next year. Technological solutions to secure border besides fencing. World-famous Louvre Museum to shut following threats from worsening floods in France. Thousands evacuated following heavy rains in central and northeastern parts of the country this week. And OPEC fails to reach agreement on output policy at Vienna meet. Saudi Arabia promises not to flood market as Iran insists on steep production rise. Well, top story this morning, the death toll in Thursday's violence during an anti-encroachment drive in Mathura has climbed to 22. Well, those killed include the city SP and an SHO. Now, hunt is on for about 200 people who allegedly used automatic weapons as well as hand grenades to target policemen who were implementing a high court order on evacuating the illegal occupants at Jawahar Bagh.
Scenes at the Jawahar Bagh in Mathura on Thursday. The anti-encroachment drive by the police ending in violence, police personnel at the receiving end.
See, this was an unlawful assembly. They were engaged in unlawful activity, and today they fired at the police, which was absolutely unprovoked. Now, since this has happened, we are going to take very strict action against the people who were aggressors.
City Superintendent of Police Mukul Dwivedi and an SHO Santosh Kumar were among the casualties. The police are still counting the loss of lives on their side.
अभी तक जो है हमारे पास लगभग 12 बॉडीज हमारे पास हैं. अभी सर्च जारी है. आगे कुछ पता चलेगा तो बताया जाएगा.
Clashes broke out while the police were trying to evict illegal occupants of the land. The occupants are believed to be activists of the Azad Bharat Vidhik Vaicharik Kranti Satyagrahi. The eviction drive was following an Allahabad High Court order. The police team had reached the spot and they were targeted with automatic weapons and hand grenades.
उनके पास एक्सप्लोजिव्स थे, ग्रेनेड्स थे, बंदूकें थी, गन्स थी, कट्टे तमंचे थे. उनके द्वारा उन्होंने हम पे फायर किया. लगभग हमारे पास 200 लोग हैं, 200 से अधिक लोग हैं. अब उनका चिन्हीकरण किया जा रहा है कि कौन-कौन व्यक्ति थे जिनके द्वारा आक्रमण किया गया. उनके खिलाफ उचित धाराओं में कार्रवाई की जाएगी.
Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav expressed grief over the incident and announced an ex-gratia of 20 lakh rupees to the family of the deceased policeman. Hunt is on for the leader of the activists, Ram Raksha Yadav, and the security officer of the group. Thousands of his supporters have also managed to flee. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, for more on this, let's go across to Rajiv Sharma, who's a local journalist at Mathura. Thank you so much, Rajiv, for joining us this morning. Rajiv, 22 लोगों की मौत हो गई है ये जो क्लैशेस हुए हैं एंटी एनक्रोचमेंट ड्राइव के दौरान. नाउ अखिलेश यादव ने प्रोब भी ऑर्डर कर दिया है. इस वक्त सिचुएशन ग्राउंड पर क्या है?
ऐश्वर्या, वहाँ इस समय पूरी तरह पुलिस तैनात हो चुकी है जवाहर बाग में, और जितने भी तथाकथित सत्याग्रही थे वो वहां से जा चुके हैं. करीब 200 लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया जा चुका है. वहां इस समय हालात बिल्कुल काबू में है और पुलिस प्रशासन पूरी तरह वहां तैनात है इस समय.
राजीव, आपसे ये जानना चाहेंगे कि वहां पर जो एनक्रोचर्स थे उनके पास हैंड ग्रेनेड्स थे, ऑटोमेटिक वेपन्स थे, तो क्या पुलिस को इस बात का अंदेशा नहीं था जिस तरह की कैजुअलिटीज हमें देखने को मिल रही है?
जी ईश्वर, ऐसा है कि वहाँ पुलिस को अंदाजा नहीं था कि इससे पहले वहां पर इस तरह के वेपन उन लोगों के पास हैं या वो किस तरह की तैयारी में थे. ये पुलिस इसका अंदाजा नहीं लगा पाई थी. शायद यही वजह थी कि एसपी जब पहुंचे तो वो जो तथाकथित सत्याग्रही थे उनका वो शिकार हो गए. उन्होंने घात लगा के उन पर हमला कर दिया.
जी, राजीव, आपसे जानना चाहेंगे कि अब अखिलेश यादव ने इस पर एक प्रोब ऑर्डर कर दी है। कल होम मिनिस्टर ने भी यूपी चीफ मिनिस्टर को कॉल किया और उन्होंने पूरा सहयोग की उम्मीद जताई है। और क्या बता सकते हैं प्रोब के बारे में आप?
वहाँ इस समय वैसे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है और वहाँ अभी कमिश्नर प्रदीप भटनागर हैं, उनको जांच दे दी गई है। वो अभी फिलहाल तो भी हालात पर अभी काबू कर रहे हैं, उसके बाद वो जांच शुरू करेंगे। और इस समय बाकी प्रशासन या शासन की तरफ से अभी कोई मूवमेंट नहीं है फिलहाल।
जी, और आखिरी सवाल आपसे ये भी जानना चाहेंगे, 5 पुलिसमैन बुरी तरह से इंजर्ड भी हुए थे, इस वक्त उनकी हालत क्या है?
अभी उनकी स्थिति जो है वो स्थिर है, ज्यादा गंभीर चोट नहीं है उनके, वो भी खतरे से बाहर है।
जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका इस पूरी जानकारी के लिए। Let's move on in the bulletin now. India and Tunisia have vowed to cooperate to combat global terrorism. Now, Vice President Hamid Ansari said this after his meeting and talks with the Tunisian Prime Minister. The two sides also signed 2 MOUs for the promotion of handicrafts and IT and communication and digital economy.
Vice President Mohammed Hamid Ansari holding detailed discussions with Tunisian Prime Minister Habib Assid in the capital Tunis after arrival from Morocco.
I had substantial discussions covering the entire gamut of our bilateral relations as well as on global issues of mutual concern with Prime Minister Assid. Our discussions on bilateral relations focused on ongoing economic partnership and on incorporating newer areas of collaboration in information, technology and education.
The two sides signed 2 MOUs following one-on-one talks followed by delegation-level talks.
We have also signed 2 memoranda of understanding for collaboration in information technology and for promotion of traditional handicrafts.
A decision to train 350 Tunisian students in the next 5 years in India was also taken after talks. A detailed discussion on the scourge of international terrorism and the need for joint efforts to combat it also figured during talks.
The spreading tide of extremism and terrorism is a threat we both face. Successfully dealing with such threats requires strong cooperation amongst like-minded partners. We have discussed the issues related to combating this challenge and decided to enhance our cooperation in the field of counter-terrorism.
The Vice President also conveyed India's gratitude to Tunisia for its backing for New Delhi's UNSC bid.
We highly appreciate Tunisia's support for India's candidature to the expanded United Nations Security Council.
Before heading into talks, the Vice President also visited the Zaitona Mosque, the Bardo Museum and the House of Representatives. He is slated to meet Tunisian President Beji Caid Essebsi today. He will also deliver a keynote address to leading scholars and think tanks in the African nation. Vishal Jain and Anudivan's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, back home, various steps are being taken by the Indian government to assure African nationals in India that their grievances are being addressed. Now, Delhi police on Thursday held several sensitization meetings in Delhi with local residents and African nationals to ease the sense of insecurity among the people of African origin. Here are all the details. At least 5 separate incidents of attacks on African nationals were reported in the last 10 days alone, creating a sense of insecurity among the community. Addressing their grievances, Delhi police on Wednesday held several sensitization meetings with local residents and African nationals across the national capital. Indo-Africa Friendship Group was also formed in the wake of these incidents.
अभी जो घटनाएं हो रही हैं उसके विरुद्ध सभी लोगों ने यहाँ पे बोला और हम सब ये भारतीयों से भी अपील करते हैं कि अफ्रीकी हमारे भारतीय भविष्य के लिए और विश्व की शांति के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है।
भारत जैसे हिटेरोजेनस देश में ये सदा दूसरी सभ्यताओं को और संस्कृतियों को अपनाने की क्षमता हमेशा रही है और आगे भी रहेगी.
Addressing a press conference in the capital, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Vikas Swarup said, apart from Delhi and Bangalore, other cities will also be targeted under the Foreign Ministry's supervision.
So the plan is for MOSVK, accompanied by Secretary Economic Relations Shri Amar Sinha, to go to these cities with the police commissioners of those cities, meet the student community, the locals, and do a full outreach program where we hear their concerns. We try to put in place institutional mechanisms which can address those concerns.
The External Affairs Ministry also says it has been successful in diffusing the apprehensions of the African community. Swaroop also referred to the heartwarming and positive statement issued by External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj after meeting a group of African envoys and students on Tuesday, besides the sensitization campaign. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Well, moving on in the bulletin now, the centre has ordered complete sealing of Assams border with Bangladesh by June next year, fulfilling an electoral pledge made by the BJP within a week of assuming power in Assam to check illegal immigration from the neighbouring country. Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh issued the order at a high-level meeting attended by top Home Ministry officials in the national capital. The Home Minister also directed that full use of technological solutions be made to secure sensitive areas along the borders. Besides deployment of adequate number of battalions of Border Security Force in Assam, a 224-kilometre-long fence has been constructed for the sealing of Indo-Bangladesh border. However, there are 122 locations that lack physical barriers. Now, the complete sealing of the border will be achieved by June next year. News from Maharashtra now. Well, there is more trouble in store for the state's Revenue Minister Eknath Khadseji. The BJP has decided to take appropriate action against him over twin allegations against him. Now, Khadseji is battling allegations of land grabbing and call records showing that he interacted with underworld don Dawood Ibrahim frequently. Now, Khadseji has denied both the charges and has refused to step down.
Eknath Khadseji, considered number 2 in the Maharashtra government, is in for a tough time. Facing serious allegations, Khadseji stands the chance of losing his job. The BJP has said it will decide on appropriate action to be taken against him.
अध्यक्ष महोदय जी ने से रिपोर्ट मांगी थी। जो मसले सामने आए हैं उसकी फैक्चुअल रिपोर्ट माननीय अध्यक्ष जी को मैंने दी है। उसके ऊपर उनसे चर्चा भी हुई है और अब इस रिपोर्ट के आधार पर जो भी आगे की उचित कार्रवाई है वो पार्टी के द्वारा निर्देशित की जाएगी।
The Maharashtra Chief Minister met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and BJP Chief Amit Shah in Delhi on Thursday. Maharashtra Revenue Minister Khadseji is accused of land grabbing and his mobile number has allegedly appeared in the call records of the most wanted gangster Dawood Ibrahim. Political rivals have been targeting the BJP over the matter. Even its ally, the Shiv Sena, has been unsparing.
कोर्ट का फैसला जो हो वही अंतिम फैसला होगा। अगर राज्य सरकार ने दोनों का ही कैंसिल किया है तो ये कहा जा सकता है कि इसमें कोई राजनीतिक द्वेष नहीं है, लेकिन ये दोनों पार्टी, ये दोनों लोग इस बात के लिए स्वतंत्र है कि वो कोर्ट में जाएं और अपना पक्ष रखें।
A ethical hacker has proved, and the matter is now sub judice, that there were telephone conversation between dreaded terrorist Dawood Ibrahim and Eknath Khadseji's cell phone. Why is an explanation not being given? Why only clean chits are being given? Why the matter is not being investigated thoroughly, and why should Eknath Khadseji not be dismissed till then?
Signalling the scale of the crisis, Khadseji had skipped a cabinet meeting on Wednesday. Speaking to reporters in his hometown of Jalgaon, Khadseji said he will abide by the party's directives, adding that the leadership won't arrive at any decision unless it is convinced.
जिस प्रकार से हमारी पार्टी केंद्र में काम कर रही है, महाराष्ट्र में जिस प्रकार से वहाँ माननीय मुख्यमंत्री के नीचे काम कर रही है, निश्चित रूप से मुझे लगता है कि इस विषय में कोई भी जल्दी से कोई भी निर्णय लिया जाएगा।
देखिए, हमारे मुख्यमंत्री ने बिल्कुल स्पष्ट कहा है आज केंद्रीय नेतृत्व के साथ बैठक के बाद उन्होंने कहा है कि जो जांच प्रतिक्रिया करने की आवश्यकता है हम जरूर करेंगे और जो निर्णय उचित लगे वो हम ऐलान करेंगे।
Demands for action against Khadseji have risen. Former AAP leader and activist Anjali Damania has begun a hunger strike demanding inquiry against him and his ouster. She has questioned the slow pace of reaction to the serious allegations.
अगर कोई मंत्री दाऊद से 1 सेकंड के लिए भी बात करता है तो उसको तुरंत के तुरंत अरेस्ट करके अंदर डालना चाहिए। अगर और उस पर हम चर्चा कर रहे हैं कितने दिन तक कितने मिनट बाद की, पहले तो उन्होंने कहा नंबर मेरा नहीं था, फिर कहते हैं कि जब बताया गया कि भाई नंबर आपका था, आप चालू था, बिल पे कर रहे थे, तो बोलते हैं वो बंद था। ये भी बताया गया कि आपने सिम कार्ड भी उसका बाय किया है। सारी चीजें बाहर आ रही है, पर बस डिनाई करना और अपनी जोर जबरदस्ती से सबको चुप कराना।
Khadse is accused of buying government land in the name of his wife and son-in-law for about 4 crores, but the market value was reportedly 30 crore rupees. The minister maintains the land was not owned by the government and that he paid stamp duty on the market value. Khadse also denies any links with gangster Dawood Ibrahim. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
News from Bihar now, where the School Examination Board has put on hold the results of the toppers of arts and science streams of Class 12 examination. The Bihar Board has called the first 7 rank holders of the 2 streams for test following a media expose on some of their purported inability to answer basic questions. Now, those summoned for re-exam includes arts topper Ruby Rai and science stream topper Saurabh Kumar. The centre will seek a report from Bihar government over the dubious toppers of Plus 2 examination in the state. This was informed by Union Minister of State for Human Resource Development Upendra Kushwaha. Now, the centre is expected to issue an advisory to take stringent measures to stop malpractices in the examination conducted by the Bihar School Examination Board. Well, this comes after one of the students who scored 444 marks out of 500 in political science said that the subject was about cooking. Now, there have been reports of irregularities in the conduct of examination by the Bihar Board every year. However, state governments have failed to initiate concrete preventive steps. Well, time for a very short break here. Up next, all the international and sports news. Stay with us.
In 1994, Government of India legislated brain death. When your brain stem is dead, you're gone, no matter what happens to other organs. Till today, from October 2008, we managed around 780 brain dead victims donating their organs.
Watch Eureka with Dr. J. Amalor Pavanathan, Director, Institute of Vascular Surgery, Madras Medical College, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. Now, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said that the Indian economy will double up to $5 trillion in a matter of few days. Jaitley said this while speaking at the India Investment Promotion Seminar organized by CII and DIPP in Osaka during his 6-day tour to Japan. He also said that it is easier to grow when the world is growing at a faster pace. India is currently the fastest growing economy in the last 2 years. Jaitley added that consumer spending and urban demand has moved up and slowly rural demand will also struggle up. Meanwhile, the Finance Minister also said that he intended to bring the Constitution Amendment Bill for GST for consideration of the Upper House in the monsoon session of Parliament, which starts next month. The GST will replace various indirect taxes with one simple tax, creating a boundary-less national market. Arun Jaitley is expected to reach Tokyo later today, where he will hold various meetings with members of the Indian Commerce and Industry Association, Japan. News from Europe, and torrential rains have caused deadly flooding in central and northeastern France this week, forcing the evacuation of thousands of people and threatening works of art stored in Paris's most celebrated museums. Now, French President François Hollande is to declare a state of natural disaster in the areas worst hit by floods. In Germany, heavy rains claimed the lives of 9 people, while several others are reported missing. However, the situation is not expected to get any better as more rains are predicted for the weekend. Unprecedented floods in France, leading to the temporary closure of the world's most visited museum. Some artworks at the Louvre in Paris will be moved to protect them from possible flooding. This after River Seine burst its banks following days of torrential rain. The river, which runs through the Paris past the Louvre, has risen 5 meters above normal levels. Another much-visited attraction, the Musée d'Orsay shut its doors on Thursday. The downpour is forecast to continue through the weekend, following days of heavy rains.
C'est vrai que c'est pas si surprenant que ça arrive à Paris, mais c'est toujours impressionnant de voir les endroits qu'on connaît complètement submergés par l'eau.
Emergency barriers are being put up along the River Seine. France is to declare a state of natural disaster for the areas worst affected by flooding. The rainfall also disrupted the French Open, where several tennis matches have been postponed. About 25,000 people are without power in Paris and central France. In Nemours, 3,000 people have been evacuated. Prime Minister Manuel Valls visited the town on Thursday, promising to start an emergency support fund for the affected areas.
Les pompiers sont venus chercher. Voilà, donc ça fait à peu près 48 heures qu'on était dans les appartements, sans électricité. C'est ça le plus gênant, parce que sinon... Enfin, moi j'habite au 2e étage, donc c'est pas très dramatique. Mais sinon ça a été, quoi.
Meanwhile, in neighboring Germany, at least 9 people have died due to the recent floods. An emergency was declared in the historic town of Passau. In the district of Wessel, a dam is threatening to break.
Wir trauern um die Menschen, für die die Hilfe zu spät kam und die in den Fluten ihr Leben verloren haben. Und natürlich bin ich in Gedanken bei ihren Familien, die mit diesem Verlust fertig werden müssen. Und das inmitten der Verwüstung, die das Wasser.
Belgium has also seen heavy rainfall and has reported flooding in many areas, including around Antwerp, Limburg and Liège. More downpours are forecast right through the weekend across a band of Central Europe, from France to Ukraine. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Well, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries failed to reach an agreement on output policy at its meeting in Vienna on Thursday, as Iran insisted on steeply raising its own production. Although Tehran's arch-rival Saudi Arabia promised not to flood the market and sought to mend fences within the organization. Members broke off the meeting without reaching an agreement on oil production. With oil prices up about 80% over the past few months from 13-year lows hit in the winter, there was little pressure on the OPEC to take a significant action to curb the world's huge oversupply of crude. Now, Saudi Arabia and its Gulf allies had tried to propose OPEC set a new collective ceiling in an attempt to repair the group's waning importance. But the meeting on Thursday ended without any new policy and ceiling, as Iran resisted the idea. Tehran argues it should be allowed to raise production to levels seen before the imposition of sanctions over Iran's nuclear program.
I think it's not secret that Iran, they still want to produce their pre-sanction quantity. And also we have another country is missing from the market, Libya. So to come up with a number, it's very difficult to do. But at this time now, the number that we are producing is reasonable to the market. The market is accepting it. The price is improving. So the market is really positive as we see it.
Let's now get you some more international news. Here is the World Wrap. U.S. House Speaker Paul Ryan says he will vote for the Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump in this year's election, despite their differences. Ryan wrote in a column, "We have more common ground than disagreement. It is the latest sign Republicans are unifying around Trump." Ryan has previously refused to back him. The gunman who killed a University of California, Los Angeles professor has been identified as his former doctoral student, Indian-American Manak Sarkar. Sarkar, an alumni of the IIT Kharagpur, shot and killed the professor in a small office in UCLA before killing himself on Wednesday. The shooting prompted a complete lockdown of the campus and deployment of hundreds of police officers as well as federal agents. A plane from the U.S. Air Force's elite Thunderbird team crashed on Thursday in Colorado shortly after flying over a ceremony where U.S. President Barack Obama spoke. The pilot ejected safely from the aircraft. Now, following the accident, Obama met with the pilot at the Peterson Air Force Base before heading back to Washington. The cause of the crash was under investigation. UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has placed the Saudi-led military coalition supporting Yemen's government on an annual blacklist over the deaths of hundreds of children in airstrikes. Yemen's Shiite Houthi rebels who seized the capital Sana'a in September 2014 were also added to the list of children rights violators. The coalition launched its air campaign to push back the Houthis in March 2015, but the rebels still control the capital and many parts of the country as well. And now on to some sporting action. Well, on day 12 of the French Open, there were two players who registered first-time semi-final appearances in a Grand Slam in the form of Dominic Thiem and Kiki Bertens. And there were two players for whom this was business as usual, Novak Djokovic and Serena Williams. There was also reason to rejoice for the Indian tennis fans with the Leander Paes, Martina Hingis and Sania Mirza, Ivan Dodig through to the finals of the mixed doubles. Top seed Novak Djokovic reached his 30th major semi-final on Thursday, barely escaping with a tournament disqualification. The world number one, a three-time runner-up and seeking a maiden Roland Garros crown to complete the career Grand Slam, defeated Czech 7th seed Thomas Berdych 6-3, 7-5, 6-3, claiming a place in an 8th French Open semi-final and 6th in succession.
Pleased to be in semi-finals of another Grand Slam, but because of the fact that I have to play every day, you know, my focus right away goes for recovery and the next match, so I don't have much time really.
Djokovic will next face number 13 Dominic Thiem. The Austrian beat number 12 David Goffin of Belgium 4-6, 7-6, 6-4, 6-1. Djokovic has defeated Thiem in both of their career meetings, last sweeping him in 2 sets at the Miami Open in March. Thiem made it to the semi-final of a Grand Slam tournament for the first time and underlined his place at the topmost level.
I think I was emotional enough during the game, so now I can be calm. But yeah, of course, still I'm focused. But it was a very, very good and very intense match.
In the women's draw, defending champion Serena Williams pulled out quite a comeback on Thursday, coming back from a set and a breakdown to beat 60th ranked Yulia Putniteva 5-7, 6-4, 6-1. Williams looked out of sorts for much of her quarterfinal on a gloomy afternoon and finished with a total of 43 unforced errors compared to just 16 for her opponent.
Yeah, I just was not playing my best, and I kept missing and, you know, just misfiring. And I just honestly, at one point, I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I don't know, I guess I was not the most positive, but mentally, but obviously I didn't want to stop.
The number one seed will play Kiki Bertens in the last 4 on Friday after the unseeded Dutch player saw off Swiss 8 seeds Tymia Biksinski 7-5, 6-2. Indo-Croatian second seeds Sania Mirza and Ivan Dodig set up a mouth-watering clash against Leander Paes and Martina Hingis in the mixed doubles final. Paes and Hingis won 6-3, 3-6, 10-7 and will face the pair of Mirza and Dodig, who laboured to make it to the final after a 4-6, 6-3, 12-10 win. Well, that's all in this edition of news. Thanks so much for your time.